Hello Disc Golf family. I want to show you a little before and after footage with Sean from a recent pair of rounds we had at Timberlane Park. We played a round with putters and Sean was throwing with a new form that wasn't quite working for him up to this point. He was throwing with the disc at his side, but he wasn't pulling through the power pocket per se. What he was doing, I think, was technically wrong and led to some problems. So let's go ahead and watch some video so I can show you the before part. Okay, we're starting off with the very first round where Sean was throwing, and as you can see, he's not pulling through the power pocket. And what he's doing is he's throwing, almost catapulting his disc up into the air and off to the right. So everything is essentially releasing late, or it's resembling a grip lock in the direction it goes. And basically every time he threw in this manner where he basically held the disc out to his side and then threw it, he basically moved it off to the side. Now this one in particular was pretty decent. You could ignore the fact that it went in near the ditch. He threw it straight. This one was a slight correction, but for the most part he's holding the disc out to his side and he's throwing with it, not actually pulling through the power pocket. And that leads to a lot of late releases, and it's just not good. And even here he managed to slightly correct for that throw and he still ended up hitting a tree. And here's another one where again the disc is just coming out a little late because he's not pulling through, he's not throwing it properly, and he's pulling it from outside. I had him try an overstable disc to do a correction and it helped a little bit, but he couldn't quite get the release point right. He's not pulling through a rail alongside him and he's not pulling through the power pocket. And here he managed to get a decent throw at the very end of that round. As you can see, Sean wasn't getting a lot of distance with his throws, and most of them were late releases, with him essentially grip locking. He was not pulling through the power pocket. I'm not here to debate throwing terminology or try to talk about a lot of different terms, and I'm not pretending that I'm teaching you, the viewer, how to throw exactly, but I do want to show you one trick that I used to get Sean to pull through the power pocket. So what I did is I had Sean hold the disc like so, and then I grabbed the opposite end and I held it. And I had him pull back, essentially, sort of mimicking the reach back form. And I told him to try to pull it from me to the target, and he corrected his wrist and got it, to the right. It's hard to show on camera, but he got it to the right angle to where it's where he's gripping the disc correctly. And then I told him to let the disc follow it and then let the disc run parallel to his chest, through the power pocket, and then release it at, towards the target. And after his first throw doing this, he threw a lot straighter, and he basically threw all the discs in his cart twice in a row. And then we went ahead and played the second round, which was the full cart scramble round. Now let's watch his new throws. And now here we see him throwing after I showed him this one simple trick. And he gets a little closer to his body, but he actually pulls it through a little closer to his body too, and it goes a little straighter. And then here he tries it again. He doesn't quite get the angle right, but it is a little closer to his body. He does a little bit of a form correction, and it kind of pulls through the power pocket better, but he managed to throw it straight enough, and it gets right next to the back. It actually touches the pin here. Here he is again. He's trying to pull it through closer to his body. He doesn't pull it around his body, and he manages to get it more straight, which is what we wanted. Here he is again. He basically doesn't put it behind his body as much, but he does pull through a little closer, and he does get a little straighter. Here he does pull it back through his body a little bit too much, and it does cause him to put it on the wrong track. But you can see here he does that again, and he's trying to get it back into where he's pulling it, but he's almost compromising between his old form and his new form. Here's another one where he pulls it a little bit from the inside, but he does get it through the power pocket. So you see him adjusting, and there you go. That's another good throw. It doesn't come out at the angle that he wants, but you can see him working through it. So this is an example of trying to get people to correct their form one thing at a time, and I think it leads to a little bit of progress. As you can see, his form improved a little. This isn't a quest for perfection. It's to get him to do one change at a time until it gets better. I think this helped him, and I hope it helps you too. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.
What's up?